Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines and, most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I only speak to transportation professionals on this show, as well as my twice-a-week long-form podcast, you guys, so we can put the right information out there from the people who have done what you're looking to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve, so you can apply, utilize, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. It's one of the many, many reasons why I proudly fly this American flag behind me every single day. A, we're the greatest nation on earth, but B, I'm living my American dream, and I want to help each and every one of you live yours as well. Got a solo show today. I got a guest coming on tomorrow. Yes, we're going live on the 4th of July because I go live damn near no matter what out there. And then it'll be a standard show. We'll got guests coming on, like I said, tomorrow. And then Friday will be a Q&A day out there, you guys. So every single Friday is sales and operations related Q&A show. So just DM them over to me, drop them in the chats. I'll answer them live on the show on Friday, and I try and dedicate all of that at least once a week. And, you know, if you got something pressing, just drop it in the chat on the show here today or any day, and I'll answer it live on there. But before we go any further, as always, you guys, I got to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub, vhubapp.com. Whether you're a broker, carrier, or a shipper, we all need access to trailers. And the best part is you get paid to move these trailers. That's right. That's on top of the revenue that you can get by loading these trailers out. And so for my small fleets and owner ops out there, you never have to shut your operation down if you have a trailer in the shop. You can jump on VHub and lock one of these in. Or if you're trying to sell an enterprise level sales solution, if you're reaching out to a prospect, this gives you an opportunity to offer power only or a drop trailer capacity, you guys, because they have a bunch of trailers out there. So what they're working on is they got a bunch, and like by a bunch, I mean like a couple hundred out there in San Diego, California, which is also Ron Burgundy's hometown, going to multiple locations throughout the United States, you guys. And it pays anywhere from $1,100 to $2,200 per move, you guys. They have roll-up doors as well as 53-foot swing doors as well. And it goes to Wisconsin, Michigan, Arkansas, New Hampshire, Georgia, North Carolina, Mass, Texas, Tennessee, you name it, you guys. Are going all over the place. And then they also have Paragould, Arkansas, going up to Mississauga, Ontario, and you get $736 US on that, you guys. And with these trailers, you don't just have to pick them up and load them out of like San Diego or Paragould. You can bring them over to Nashville or up to St. Louis or Indianapolis, whatever that looks like, you guys. It just has to end up over in Mississauga. So hit them up, you guys, vhubapp.com. My friends, Zach Lonergan, he's already in the audience, as well as Stacy Steen. You guys just hit him up. Just let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. It's pretty simple, right? Pretty simple process there. Sonny Sharma, good morning, Orange Shirt Gang. Let's fucking go. Catherine D, she's watching over on YouTube, as well as my man, Zach Lonergan. He's watching over on YouTube as well, you guys. I stream live on YouTube and Twitter. So if you guys are on those other platforms and you want to jump over there, I've heard that YouTube has a better audio and video quality on the stream. So just do your boy a favor, subscribe, share, subscribe if you're going to go to those channels. My man, top of the morning, my God, give these folks some truth coming from Chris Brewer, River City Logistics. He posted a phenomenal photo of his building out in Iowa, has the flag on it and everything. It was a great reminder, man. I love it. I love it. John Radvansky, good morning to you. Zena, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Andrew Teal, Freight Coach sent me, sir, this is a Wendy's. Dude, you should do that and just record the reaction on there. My dad used to say this all the time. It didn't matter what you asked him. He would always say, no, I can't. I'm driving. Like literally anything. We were at Subway and he'd be like, you want onions on your sub? No, I'm driving. It would just fucking throw people off all the time. Let me see here. And also green screens. We broke down the National Logistics Day stories last week, you guys. Their voting is still open. So jump over to green screens, you guys. Hit them up. Vote on your favorite, video that we did on there. There's 4 separate entries. Help somebody win a $500 gift card. And no, I'm not on there. Otherwise, you guys would obviously vote for me. Kidding. Anyways, national average for diesel, it'll be uploaded this afternoon, you guys, but it was sitting at $3.80 per gallon last week nationwide. I get all of this from the EIA, you guys, EIA.gov. And for me personally, knowing this is very crucial, right? Because there's a lot of shippers out there who charge a line haul. They want line haul plus fuel broken out. And if you've never provided that rate before, this gives you an opportunity to understand how the fuel market fluctuates and everything. And again, it's just more information that you can provide out there to the market while you're out there prospecting, you guys. So I get that from the EIA. I'm not affiliated with them at all, but I know that there's some of my customers have one fuel surcharge and another one could look very different. This just gives you a better understanding. And, it's just something to add into your repertoire of tools of how you quote freight out there. What is up, Darminder? Good morning, sir. Adolfo Rodriguez, good morning. Buenos dias. Thank you for tuning in as always. Neil Huffman, good morning and happy 4th week. Amen to that. Tracy St. Clair, good morning to you watching over on YouTube. And obviously, you guys, it's a holiday. I'm still doing my prospecting. I don't care what day of the week it is. I mean, obviously, I won't do it tomorrow because everybody will be closed. But I'm still getting my prospecting in. Because I'm working, right? Like I'm working today. I'm working tomorrow too. I'm available because a lot of those opportunities that we've been fighting for tend to come available on these weeks, right? Like might seem inconvenient to your personal plans, but don't lose sight of the fact that a lot of those opportunities that we're searching for are going to come available today, maybe tomorrow, whatever that looks like for an early Wednesday pickup, however you want to spin it. So just being available, make sure you're reaching out to people. And if you do have freight moving, I know we talked about this last Friday, but we're going to talk about it again. Reach out, you guys. Nobody wants to be stuck holding the bag because we didn't reach out to find out if the place was shutting down early today. Or, for our pickups or our deliveries or our customers or anything like that. And then furthermore, finding out where our drivers are going to be storing that freight over the holiday tomorrow so people can just spend time with their families, right? We don't have to blow them up and everything. So just get ahead of that stuff, you guys. Communicate these along so you guys can all get out there and enjoy this time off. If you're working from home today or whatever that looks like, you guys, so get ahead of all of that stuff. So let's get into some articles here. I'm ready to break some articles down. And furthermore, I wanted to talk about prices as well, because I have been hearing a lot of rumblings out there about rates starting to increase. Yeah. And I hope none of my driver friends who are listening to this would be like, fuck you, that's not happening. But I'm seeing it from multiple people that I speak with out there about rates starting to increase in specifically out here on the West Coast. I know the Houston market's very hot, and then Florida seems to be back to where it normally is. But for the most part, it seems like the seasonal push of freight is starting to identify itself. So really start paying attention to that stuff, you guys, especially if you're out there quoting spot market style shippers, and the importance of this is, again, I'm always about keeping that consistent rate, but these markets can flip a lot of money. And, if depending on where you're at in your business, you might not be able to sustain a $700 or $800 loss on a load. So look into this, you guys. Stay on top of this. Again, that was one of the main reasons why I partnered with Green Screens. I use them inside of my brokerage, right? I have used them since our partnership started, and I've seen a massive increase in freight and it's more of the accuracy of the freight to combat the markets that we're operating in, right? Because the majority of the freight that I'm moving right now, I don't have any contracted business, right? Where it's hey, I got 7 of these a week that are coming through on the exact same lane. I'm fighting and scraping and clawing for every single opportunity that I can get right now. And the importance of having the most accurate price for that moment is so key, right? Because, data is always going to be subjective, but again, finding the most accurate data, I found that in Green Screens. And while you're navigating through and building up your business, and especially around the holidays, I think this summer is going to be a pretty standard summer when it comes to the fluctuations. Excuse me, the fluctuations in the rates and the tightening and loosening of capacity in certain markets. So again, stay on top of that stuff, you guys. So if you want to hit them up, do your boy a solid. Just hit them up and let them know that I sent you. I'll just put that out there. It's Papa Freight. He's in the house. Good morning from home. Steven, you've been fucking everywhere. I swear, man. I've been like, obviously I follow Steven on LinkedIn, man. You're literally everywhere. You've been all over the country. All right, let's get into some articles here. First one is from my best friends over at the Teamsters. They're back in the news now with another LTL carrier that they quote unquote represent. This one's from ttnews.com. Teamsters break off UPS talks, warning of strike inevitable. The union represents 340,000 package delivery drivers and warehouse workers. If you're fucking a non-union place, I'm sure like Amazon and other places are just fucking salivating at these moments right now. Absolutely salivating. They gave UPS a June 30th ultimatum. I haven't seen anything breaking here about anything. And then after walking away from discussions on June 28th, I know today is the 3rd of July, but I haven't seen anything out there yet. And that their current national master agreement expires on July 31st. Atlanta-based UPS said in a response, June 28th, it would continue with negotiations, and that consensus requires time and serious detailed discussion, but it also requires give and take from both sides. And UPS ranked number 1 on that the Transport Topics top 100 list for carriers. And let me see. And then said it made a significantly amended proposal to address key demands from the Teamsters prior to the two sides meeting on June 28th. And then it said that the International Brotherhood walked away from there. In response, the Teamsters walked out and demanded UPS exchange its last, best, and final offer by June 30th. The union said it gave UPS a week's notice to act responsibly. It represents more than 340,000 package delivery and warehouse logistics workers. However, a deal is likely to get done. Bruce Chan, Stifel Director of Logistics and Global... Well, that's a fucking job title and a half. Director of Global Logistics and Future Mobility told Transport Topics, and neither side can afford a strike. He said the last strike was in 1997, Chan said, which led to UPS losing considerable market share. I doubt it will happen. I doubt they will make the mistake again. And UPS can pay more than it has offered, the Stifel analyst said. However, Teamsters members employed by UPS are among the best paid in the industry by quite a margin, especially compared to their counterparts at FedEx. The Teamsters are demanding a 5-year agreement that guarantees higher wages for all workers, more full-time jobs, an end to forced overtime and harassment from management, elimination of a 2-tier wage system, and protection from heat and other workplace hazard. Led by General President Sean O'Brien, the Teamsters leadership has publicly pledged to go on strike. The latest turn of the screw in the nationwide contract talks that began April 17th came after what was previously characterized as positive negotiations. And on June 13th, a union revealed UPS had agreed to equip delivery and logistics vehicles with air conditioning, new heat shields, and additional fans. And then on June 16th, some 79% of the union, or 97% of the union members at the carrier who voted authorized a strike. And the carrier's proposal the past few days was appalling, offering minuscule raises and wage cuts to traditional cost of living out there. And then UPS doesn't want to pay up. They said their actions and insults at the bargaining table have proven they are just another corporation that wants to keep all the money at the top, warned O'Brien. Who made considerable revisions to it. I laugh at that because it's like, what's the, like, I mean, I don't want to go into an in-depth thing. I have definitely put my disdain for the union out there on numerous shows because it's just like another company, right? It's just another one. Now it's UPS, and then it's Yellow, and then it's the fucking ports, and then it's the rail, and then it's everything. But just so everybody's aware, like the increase in pay that the union's fighting for very hard, like it's all like union members have to pay into the union, right? I would assume, I don't have any proof, but this is just me guessing that generally when their wages go up, I would assume their membership dues into the union increase in time. It might not be next year, but I would assume a wage increase is followed by a membership due increase. So take that into consideration, right? Like the union financially benefits from all of this. They're not out there, quote unquote, fighting for the little guy like they want to put out there, because if it goes on strike, if all of those workers go on strike, all the union reps that are working for the union, like this O'Brien dude, the guy who's in charge, is going to still get paid, right? Like he's still going to collect a salary. I doubt out of good faith they forego all their salaries and everything as well. It's just somebody else with the hands in the pocket, right? Like I understand why unions came into effect a long time ago to prohibit a lot of that shit that was going on. But, you know, in today's day and age, the labor that they once fought of forced labor for children and, you know, working conditions and everything, you can't get away with that shit in today's day and age, right? Because social media is what it is. You could blast that stuff all over social media if the working conditions were that terrible somewhere, and something would be done about it right away, right? I just don't see how them holding the company hostage when they have literally zero money in like in the from like an equity standpoint, right? Like they don't lose any money if they shut down. You know, like at the end of the day, they're not fiscally responsible to fucking anything out there. But again, I look at it like this. There is a massive opportunity for every non-union company out there to take over market share. I'm all about the free market at the end of the day, you guys. I am a massive fan of the free market, and I'm a massive fan of capitalism. Responsible capitalism. I'll put that in there. But this is like when you see this, you know, if I was a shipper, and again, I'm not a shipper, but if I was a company that had heavy reliance on a UPS or a Yellow, I would be looking for alternatives right now, and I would probably pull all of my business from them based off of this, based off of reading this article. And it's, yeah, because again, it goes on here and it talks about how the Teamsters are very much in the media for not the right reasons, right? Like they're not exactly painting a good picture for themselves out there, because at the end of the day, if I found out, because again, this isn't just like just Yellow and UPS, it would be every company that I would speak with. I would ask, are you a union-based company? Because I don't want my freight to be affected by this stuff, right? So again, this is just my opinion on it. I think it's a very bad look for the Teamsters, but it's a massive opportunity if you're a non-union carrier or a non-union competitor of a UPS or a Yellow or any of that to go. That would be my fucking sales pitch right then and there. Hey, we're not going on strike. We're not threatening on strike. Your customers are, your freight is going to be taken care of because we're going to continue to show up. There is going to be no threat of a strike that goes on out there. So that would be my sales pitch if I were competing in that space against a UPS or a Yellow and I was non-union. So again, the free market will prevail. That article, you guys, ttnews.com, Teamsters break off UPS stock talks, warn strike inevitable. And again, you guys, I put all the links to these articles in the Freight Coach YouTube channel, as well as the Coffee with the Freight Coach audio only replay, which this is uploaded onto on iTunes and Spotify almost immediately after the show, you guys, and check those articles out. I want you guys to read these on your own and do your own research. I legitimately, these are the first time I'm reading these articles when because I get clickbaited by these. And then I'm like, oh, that looks like a fun subject to talk about. And that's how I choose my articles every single time. Vanessa, what is up? Happy Monday to you. Thank you for tuning in. Tony, I do not need drage. Darnell, hey, yo, coming in hot, Mr. Darnell. All right, next article. This is written by my friend Eric Johnson. He is with the JOC, you guys. And the title of this article is Logistics Integration Partners Defy Freight Demand During Downturn. Shippers are inundated with options when it comes to adding new data feeds and software, as well as brokers, but Freight Coach Logistics is legit. But all of those options have shown a light on part of logistics technology that is equal parts crucial and difficult: systems integrations. Without proper integration, systems are isolated from one another, limiting the individual and collective value. But integration comes at a cost, and someone, whether the software provider, the shipper, the logistics, a logistics provider, or a 3PL, has to bear those costs. That's why the so-called integration partnerships have proliferated in recent years, driven by a class of logistics systems integration specialists out there. In theory, integration partners benefit all parties. For example, a shipper using a TMS might turn to an integration specialist to get access to a range of ancillary tools. Ancillary tools. Fuck. My brain moves faster than my mouth sometimes. For visibility, freight rate management, insurance, or carbon calculation. If that tool has partnerships with the integration specialist, that access can be granted. These integration partnerships are inherently reciprocal and advantageous out there. And let me see here. And, because that's the thing is, Brian Glick, my man from chain.io, he was on the podcast a while ago. A logistics software integration provider cited a subtle change responsible for the growth that was out there. No one system can be perfect fit for everyone. He said software companies generally build towards problems they can solve relatively quickly, and manually touching 10 to 20 systems to handle a shipment is complex and operationally hard. If I'm building software, it's not going to fix all problems for all people. Glick added, and as an LSP, I'm going to need multiple systems because no one system works for all. Glick said that the focus on a systems integration is essentially replacing some of the manual transportation management firefighting towards forwarders historically did on behalf of them. And then 10 years ago, we called the integration layer that thing that all of our people do all day. And it's like, because I chose this article because I actually interviewed, this will be coming out in not this week, but next week. I interviewed the CEO over at TIE Software. And we were talking, Walter Mitchell, at TIE Software. And we were talking, we spent a heavy emphasis on integrations and, finding the right technology providers, because, obviously you guys, freight tech is going to be around, like it's not going away. But again, it's like that seamless connectivity that comes along out there, and having your people be able to work, jump from platform to platform and have that connectivity in line. Because, again, Brian Glick brings up great points. Not one system is going to be the right one for everything. And that's the beauty of having, competitors inside of a space, right? Like there's going to be a segment that fits everybody's individual needs for the size of their organizations. And again, you need to look into it because, again, back to my conversation with and I don't want to give away too much of that conversation that myself and Walter had. But again, we talked about workplace efficiencies and everything. We talked about the automation phase and how, the majority of the whatchamacallits work, like all of your day should be whatchamacallit. I'm drawing a fucking blank here. The majority of your day should be automated as a broker, right? And then in a lot of our rules, and there's just some key components that should never be automated. But again, that comes along with it. This is a really good article talking about that. Sonny Sharma, tell TIE to integrate with broker carrier. We're working on it, Sonny. We're working on it so TIE can integrate with broker carrier, and we'll make it happen, man. I'm fighting for you. But yeah, that, again, it's talking about, this is a good article if you're out there looking for technology to put into your business as well, and the realities of it, you guys. So that one is from the JOC, and it's Logistics Integration Partnerships Defy Freight Demand during the downturn. And again, it's like, how can you set your team up with the most beneficial software to elevate their output, right? Like that's what I'm looking for every single day. I've been talking a lot about this, but it's, again, how do I buy back more of my time? I'm building my brokerage, right? So the ability to go in there and notify all the carriers who've done a load for me in the past with one click of a button is massive value in there. Again, that's why we put the heavy emphasis of that in broker carrier is, it's an automation. It's not an capacity management platform. It's about reutilizing in-network carriers and keeping that going so I can pay attention to more things at once and elevate our outputs out there. All right. So third and final article that we're going to break down is from FreightWaves, and it's talking about contract rate declines put capacity at risk. Holiday shipping season may catch some companies sleeping. Let me see here. The relationship between dry van and spot rates remain nearly unchanged compared to last month, as both have fallen at nearly the same pace. Spot rates appear to have hit a floor, suggesting carriers have hit their park or drive threshold on the transactional market for now, with contract rates continuing to drop. If the spread between these two figures narrows, even as demand falls, capacity will become increasingly inconsistent to secure. The domestic truckload market has been in a free fall since March, typically negotiated on a 3 or 12 month. Okay, hold on. First, spot rates reacting first, and then the slower contracts, typically negotiated on 3 to 12 month terms, starting a slow side in late summer. The reason is simple: demand fell off, and there's just in case over ordering. The end result is nearly after 2 years of overheated and unsustainable demand growth, capacity has also increased significantly. The problem now is that demand has retreated almost entirely to where it was in 2019, leaving many of the trucks with nothing to move and a spot market full of desperation. In June of 2019, the spot rate, excluding fuel, costs above $1.20 a gallon, comparable to contract rates. All right, I'm just kind of skimming through some of this, you guys. 2019 market. How fast will rates fall? It goes on. For this forecasting exercise, let's assume spot rates will not fall significantly over the next 6 months, but they will likely spike around Christmas. Contract rates have fallen in a nearly perfect linear regression over the past year, so applying the same trends is not a risky assumption. There is an argument to be made out there. Let me see, that the decline is due thanks to the fact that many shippers' transportation budgets will take a hit in the next year, and many of the current rates we put in place before anyone realized that the market had turned. Assuming a flat spot rate trend and continuing the current rate of declines for contracts, the spread will drop below 10%. As carriers see spot loads offerings improve in relation to the contracted freight, they will be tempted to divert capacity to cover potentially more lucrative offerings. That's essentially what is going to happen, right? So to tie it into present day, I can't say how many more times some of your customers are going to rebid, right? Contracted rates are, I mean, for the most part, you guys, they're going to be changed throughout the year. Rebids are going to happen time and time again. I know that with LoadSmart, for example, that we utilize them for one of our shippers, and we're doing like a 30-day bid with some of our contracted freight that's out there. But again, from an opportunity standpoint, the spot market rebounding is great news for like all parties involved here, especially if you're out there trying to build your book of business, right? Like if you're trying to look for those opportunities, because generally speaking, the most valuable line that they talked about right there was that's exactly what's going to happen. All of those large carriers who are doing freight for pennies on the dollar right now are going to start declining fucking everything to jump into the more lucrative market, which happens all the time. So again, those opportunities that you're looking for with new business or growing your book of business with your current customers are going to start identifying themselves here. So again, as we always say, you're closer to things rebounding at this point than you are for them falling apart, right? So when that inflection point happens where the spot market and the contracted rates are getting closer and closer to each other, that's when tender rejections start to rise exponentially, and those loads those opportunities start to become available. And again, you can look at this as how can you get in and price off market with your customers, right? So if the spot market's tending to start to increase, you can go in there and offer that long-term pricing or that short-term pricing to remove some of the volatility that comes along when when the freight markets start to shift out there, you guys. So look into that. Get prepared for it, you guys. It could be a very interesting ride to the second half of the year. And as always, you guys, the opportunities are fucking endless if you're looking for them. Get out there. Put out your prospecting calls, your sales emails, whatever that looks like, you guys, and don't lose sight of the fact that the opportunity is going to come. That article, freightwaves.com, contract rate declines put capacity at risk. Help me says good morning and hashtag the freight coach. Thank you. Help me. But that is going to be it for today, you guys. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to be doing a 4th of July show. I'm going to be having one of my friends come on, and we're going to talk about appreciation of the United States of America and what this country stands for and what this country has done in my opinion, and why we're the greatest nation on earth and how we'll never back away from saying that ever. But that's going to be it. As always, you guys, if you guys got value in this, subscribe and share the show. rank the show, get it out there, because that's how we've grown into the top transportation podcast, is because of each and every one of you. Because if you see value, your network's going to see value in it as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.